had I had Brittany Renner in a meeting when I was in college, I might be about $15 million more richer. Because she broke it down. The coldest line she said, I got more checks in my DMs than Nike. I said, wow. That mean they at her.
Yes.
Okay, and she's trying to tell them how this is played out. She say, it's women out there that do their homework. They know everything about y'all because you tell on yourself on the gram and on social. So they know how to go get you. And you thinking you conquering it and you ain't, because it's all a plan.
You think you running game and they running game on you. You think you running game and they running game on you.
That's deep.
We need to dismantle the patriarchy. We could consider that there are actually more women than men in universities, more women than men who hold PhDs. Women are being preferentially selected for jobs, not for being the best candidates, but to fill equity quotas that favor women.
You got a point.
Women hold all the power in divorce courts. Laws incentivize women to leave their husbands and take the kids, destroy men and get paid to do it, or skip marriage altogether and just have children for the paycheck. I mean, is there really any opportunities that we want that we do not have? I know there's plenty of things that we don't want to do, and luckily we can just leave that to the men.
That's cold.
And while this evil patriarchy ideology conditions little girls to cringe at the thought of being just a mom and debases building homemaker skills in favor of building an army of boss is ready to tear down the patriarchy, when all it's really doing is tearing apart families, tearing apart relationships, and tearing down our femininity. And maybe that's the point.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Love from Love, Life, and the Game, coming at you guys with another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Appreciate you guys' support, and thank you for tuning in. Today, man, we are going to talk about these standards of modern women here in 2023. We're going to talk about where they came from. How did these standards come about? Because these were not the standards that your grandmothers had, your great grandmothers, and the women who came before these boss babe women that are basically running amok in today's society. So we're gonna touch on that. I wanted to play those clips in the beginning, particularly the one with Deion Sanders and Shannon Sharp. Shout out to those guys. You know, as NFL players, you know, they're entertainers, and they get to see a whole nother side of, you know, this entitlement and this boss babe mentality of, you know, from women who primarily target men who are high earners. And, you know, there used to be a time in this country where women knew how to value things about a man that weren't tied to a dollar sign. Well, that all changed with this birth, or I should say rebirth and remastered version of this radical feminist movement that we see here in 2023. You know, what the feminist movement has done, it's given birth to this entitlement that you see so many women have, the lack of accountability. You know, women, no matter what choices women make, good or bad, they're praised for it. If a woman decides she wants to leave her husband, they're praised for it. If she wants to freeze her eggs and, you know, doesn't want to have a man, she just wants to have a child, but doesn't want a man in her life to help raise the child, they're praised for it. They're told, you go, queen. You got to do what's best for you. Never mind what's best for the child. Women of today, you know, this modern era, they're all about themselves. When you listen to them talk in interviews and on talk shows, everything is, I want this, I want that, my happiness, my freedom. Everything is I. It's not we. That's not the way our ancestors lived. We didn't operate with I. We operated with we. Everything we did as men and women was community-based and community-centered. It wasn't centered on I or we or me. It was we.
True.
Yeah, nigga, you ain't lying.
And what we're seeing now, we're seeing this level of entitlement to where you can't even give a woman a compliment these days.
She came in with pretty curls. Now
Can you please not talk about when I switch up my hair? I know, but like as a Black person, to me, it feels like a microaggression. I deal with it all the time at work.
So now we can't even give compliments to women anymore. Can't open doors, can't give compliments, gotta be on your guard, even in the workplace, because you just don't know how a woman is going to react, regardless of what you say. So I say this, instead of walking around on eggshells, just ignore them. Since they hate us so much, we're trash, we ain't shit. I just say ignore them. Women in 2023, we're going into 2024 now, far too many of them have just lost their way. They've become extremely selfish, entitled, and unappreciative when it comes to men. And, we see a lot of these bad qualities that a lot of women today, especially here in the West, in the US, have. You can attribute to feminism. You can attribute to, this whole boss babe era, women being pushed to be boss babes, and this infatuation, this over infatuation that they have with money. It permeates through almost every aspect of their lives. They only will date men who they find financially attractive, which means they won't settle for a man who makes less money than they do, but they want a man who makes more than them to settle for them. You can't make this up, man.
First things first, if a woman call you a real man, you probably need to reevaluate what you're doing, because I'm sure whatever it is to benefit her. And that's coming from a woman. I genuinely don't think women understand how manipulative it is when you're saying things like, I should go forth and say whatever I want about this man's character, and people are going to believe me. However, he should not come back and challenge what I said, because I'm a woman. My narrative needs to stick, because he doesn't need to respond to me. He should just take it, because that's what a real man would do. And what you're doing is abusive. Not only are you stifling him, you're controlling the ability to tarnish and ruin his reputation off of your words, making yourself a perpetual victim.
Y'all, the woman in this video is Paradise Paris. If you are not familiar with her, man, you've got to check her out. Follow her. I'm going to leave a link to her page, her YouTube channel in the description. This is one of the few women out here in these streets who are holding women accountable. She's holding modern women accountable. Let's continue. I'm going to let her cook.
And every day it's starting to make more and more sense why you guys are so desperate to get the podcast removed from the men. Because it's not the fact that they're actually spewing harmful rhetoric, it's the fact that you actually have someone who can combat your narrative.
Right.
But the irony in that is the reason why podcast men exist is because of women like that. Women who can get online and say whatever they want and know that no one will attempt to challenge them because of whoever they are. It's quite contradictory to want a man who's going to stand on business and actually know how to speak up for himself, but at the same time, unless it comes to you, he shouldn't be able to do that. Outspoken men really scare a lot of you women because of the fact that in his discreetness lies your safety for people to know who you actually are.
She didn't do nothing but spit straight bars on that one. And y'all, that's what this really comes down to as far as why modern women today cannot stand, this plethora of male podcasters, because they're being exposed for who they really are. Instead of putting in the work to become a better person, they want to stay the jacked up individuals that they are, the selfish, entitled cocktail queens that they are, and they don't want to be exposed for it. This is the real reason why they shame men for going overseas to get, quite frankly, what is a better quality of women. This is why they shame us and they talk crap about women that they've never met from places they've never been. Calling these women, poor and stupid and speak very little English. They only want to date an American man because they think that we have money and they just want a green card. As far as they're concerned, all we are is Captain Save-A-Ho. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Stay tuned, and I will see you all on the next one.